Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Bengal Tiger Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Shea Dixon. Shea, it's Friday, and LSU plays Army tomorrow, Saturday night in Death Valley. A non-conference game that is in the midst of an SEC schedule where LSU played 5 straight SEC games and has Alabama coming up in 2 weeks. But first, you got to take care of Army, and it's obviously always a unique challenge when you play the Surface Academy teams. But it feels like LSU goes into this one with some confidence, has a couple players on the injury report that we'll talk about. But how are you? How are you feeling today?
Let's get the first quiz out of the way, Matty
Okay,
B.
let's do it.
How many times have LSU and Army played?
This is the second, right?
It is. It
Okay.
is. I don't know. It was like a long time ago when
I
they
think it was
played the
like in
first time. LSU.
1930, something like
Oh
that.
gosh, see, you knew the answer better than I did. I just knew the fact that. And my other fact was LSU didn't score
LSU didn't
in
score
the
in the
game.
last time they played.
Yeah, so Army owns the series 1-0 right now. LSU did not score last time. Want to
How?
bet
Well,
that they scored this weekend?
yeah, how times have changed. LSU now has
Gosh.
the best offense and the worst defense in the country in 2023. Who'd have thought 100 years ago that this is where we'd be?
Now, who would have thought 15 years ago this is where we'd be in the Les Miles era? 10 years ago, here we are, LSU. What you just gave me the stat before the game? What is it? Number one EPA in the country?
Yeah, LSU is now number one in the country in offensive EPA and 132nd in defensive EPA. Just
How many
stark
teams are there? 132?
133.
Oh man,
You want to know that one defense worse than them?
I
I think
know
I
the
know.
answer. It's
I
it's North Texas, isn't it?
I think I know the answer, but let's see if maybe I'm wrong.
It's
Maybe.
Matty B's own North Texas, Mean Green.
Oh lordy. Let me
Pulling
scroll.
it up.
Yeah, it's not letting me scroll all the
We
way
already
up.
know the answer.
All right, yeah, we'll go with North Texas here. I'm not even
I
gonna
mean,
look.
don't they have the biggest disparity in LSU and North Texas in offense and defense?
Yes, yeah, I tweeted that out too. Was the biggest disparity in effective efficiency or something between offense and defense. So yeah, I covered the
Yeah,
top
so
two teams. So
Matty B, North Texas grad covering LSU. You're getting to watch some yin and yang of football here of
yes,
the best and worst it could be. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so you went to BK, hung out with him yesterday, heard about injuries, what's going on there?
yeah. Chris Hilton is back from his high ankle sprain. Honestly, quicker than I thought. I thought they would just hold him till Alabama. Especially because high ankle sprains usually I read 4 to 6 weeks. This would be exactly 4 weeks, I think, on Saturday. So good for him to get back that quickly. Hopefully, everything's 100%. I don't expect him to get a huge snap count, but still he's active. Then you have Mekhi Wingo, defensive lineman, who is out. Brian Kelly said he's been dealing with some lower body stuff throughout the season, so get him rested. And then Emory Jones, offensive lineman, right tackle, is out. Zaylen Turd will start in his place. Again, we saw Emory Jones leave the Auburn game with an ankle injury. I don't. We haven't got a timeline or anything, but it sounds like he's going to be fine with the bye week going to Alabama, so that's big. And then Deuce Chestnut, we got an update on him, or it's an update that wasn't really an update, but it was just that he's on scholarship with the team, but he's inactive.
Yeah, so
So
not kicked off, but they haven't decided yet what they're doing with him.
yeah, that I don't know. What nobody knows what's happening with Deuce Chestnut exactly, but maybe he'll just finish out the year on the team and then try to
Well,
transfer again, or I
he
don't know.
started Florida State and then just played. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
So
wondering how big of a knock it is right now. Like I know they don't have corners, but they weren't even trying him anymore.
yeah, so I don't know how, you obviously go through a fall camp, decide he's the cornerback one throughout the entire fall camp, and then after 1 week, 2 weeks, it felt like he was kind of just out of the rotation. So things change quickly, for those who think we have, all the answers. Anybody has all the answers in fall camp or week one. It is very much not the case. So any of those stand out to you? Any of those open up a door that maybe you're interested to watch somebody else
I
in
think
those?
I think Lance Hurd starting at right tackle and Emory Jones being sidelined is going to be and resting up for the bye week, and then Bama and Emory will be fine, and you'll have him back starting for Bama. But everyone was waiting for when does Lance Hurd, get a starting nod, and was it going to be forcing Miles Frazier to the bench? Well, Frazier answered the bell. He had some poor play, and then he put together some really strong outings, and they've kept him in the starting lineup. And now it's come when there's an injury, and fortunately, the Emory Jones injury isn't serious, so you get to much like Mekhi Wingo, you get to like rest somebody who's injured and has been banged up, but also get to now see what your 5-star freshman right tackle looks like. And I thought he played well when he came in against Auburn. So now that he's not coming in cold off the bench, he's got a week to prepare, get first team reps. I know it's Army, but I'd like to see how he does.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing here is we get to see Lance Hurd. I think in the run game, that's what I'm most interested to see, and then obviously we'll see pass protection wise. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's start talking a little bit of Army here. Army comes in 2-4 on the year. Does have an impressive win, or is it 2-3? Dang, I'm already
Four, I think 4.
2-4, 2-4. Sorry, the schedule I was looking at only had 3 losses. Did have a nice win over UTSA that I watched. UTSA is a competent team. It didn't have its starting quarterback, UTSA, but still, that's a good 37-29 win over UTSA on the road. They had a close loss to Boston College, 27-24, 13-point loss to Syracuse on the road, and then most recently got shut out against Troy, 19-0 at home. The Troy loss is obviously not is the least impressive result of the past 4. But still, it's an Army team that is at least capable with competing with some, lower tier P5s, G5 teams for the most part. And obviously, offensively is where you start with them, right? They're the triple option team everybody knows and loves. Well, they have deviated a bit, gone shotgun. They still run triple option type stuff with their running back. It's kind of like what we see LSU do, where it's you have the option to hand it off, and then you have the flat with Jaden Daniels, or you can keep it and run. Like it's those type of things. They have more jet sweeps involved in their offense. It's a little bit more sideline to sideline type stuff than what we've used to see, but they are still running the ball 74+% of the time. They are still third. They have the third highest run percentage in the country behind Navy and Air Force. So it's still a run heavy team, but they throw the ball 26% of the time, and they're actually very efficient when they do throw the ball. I think they're averaging 8.8 yards per attempt, which is obviously very good. And I think I saw that they have completed 97 passes on the year, and 32 of them have gone for first downs. So when they're hitting their passes, they're being a little pretty explosive. They're moving the chains when they are able to complete those.
I think we talked about it on the podcast, maybe the mailbag, but that Army's gone from like this idea that like Army opened up their offense. So they've gone from like 7 passes a game to like 14 passes a game. It's like
Yeah.
they've doubled their passes, but they're still only throwing it 14 times a game.
Yeah, they're on pace. I read that they're on pace for basically about 150 passes on the season, and last year they were at 100. So, whatever that number of increases on the year.
I know that we can't. I mean, it's Army. Even when Jeff Monken talked about this game, their head coach, and they asked him about, hey, look, defensive back has been a weakness for LSU. Is that it's been an Achilles heel for LSU. And how do y'all attack that? And he said, when you talk about our guys playing against an LSU, there is no Achilles heel. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're more talented. And he heaped all kind of praise over the offense, saying it was one of the best he'd seen. I don't know. I don't want to make too much of like what we're going to see or what it means in the grand scheme, but I do think how you laid out a team that runs a triple option means defensively you have to be assignment sound. And I think that might be a nice test for an LSU team right now. Like they're not the best at, they're going to be one of the worst teams you play. They're going to have some of the least talented overall athletes that you play. It'll move at a little bit slower pace for you. Can you get it right this week? Like, I think that's a fair thing to ask in a game like this is, all right, go play show me you can play assignment football and tackle. Like that's what I want to see this week.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is like last year when LSU played New Mexico and it played UAB. The defense was excellent in those games, really shutting down the run games of both. I remember going in that UAB game saying, "Hey, Spencer Brown, yada yada yada. LSU's defense was awesome. To this point in the season, we have seen LSU's defense shut down Mississippi State and shut down Auburn. So there is some hope here that when you go against a run-heavy team, a run-first team, LSU's actually had quite a bit of success. Now, obviously, like Ole Miss, and you go down the list of like capable, like Arkansas, like capable offenses, it hasn't translated. But in this type of game, you expect LSU to kind of smother the opponent, win up front, even if they haven't been a great defense. The defensive line's getting better, should be able to win at the point of attack. The linebackers, I think Whit Weeks could have an awesome game if he gets the amount of snaps I expect. And you get to see, Omar, Greg Penn, if they can make some plays as well. We know when Greg Penn is clicking, and everything's going right for him, he can be a really, really good player. So Brian Kelly also mentioned the safeties. I think that was a really interesting point. So more than anything, if we're looking at like players that need to prove something on the defense side of the ball, I think it is the safeties. It is Andre Sam and Major Burns, and they're staying disciplined, making plays in the run game, no busts on the pass game, and that's kind of where I'm at with the defenses. They should be fine, but like you said, I don't want to take anything for granted here against obviously a disciplined offense that knows what they're doing.
What's interesting to me is the over-under on this game in Vegas is set at 59 points, but the spread is 32.5. So there's an expectation that Army's going to score.
Yeah, what is that?
It was 19-0. They didn't score on Troy.
Yeah. I don't think, and that's where, again, going back to it, Matt House, as obviously he and the defense have not been good against these offenses that have KJ Jefferson and Luther Burden and Lane Kiffin and Florida State. They were not good in those games, but Auburn and Mississippi State to me are clear indicators that, hey, when teams are one-dimensional, I think Matt House kind of knows what he's doing. And this was my point in the Mississippi State game, was that they're able to suffocate teams at the line of scrimmage. If they can't, other teams can't throw the ball and attack the weaknesses, then this defense usually holds up pretty well. So I do feel good about LSU. Whatever Army's team total is, I might have the under as my play of the week. I assume it's probably like what, 13.5, 14. If I had to guess, I'll look it up here. But yeah, I do feel good about LSU's defense going into this. And I know that might be, we might be able to clip this after the game and say, oh, I shouldn't have said
Yeah,
that.
whoa, why'd I say that?
Exactly. Anything else on this offense before we flip it?
No, and look, I know we're not going to pour too deep into like how does LSU's offense versus Army's defense. LSU's offense is scoring on everybody right now, so I don't think that Army is going to present an incredible challenge. So let's at least share some thoughts from each of us on this offense. I just wanted to point out, because I don't think people realize that LSU fans realize how special this offense is right now, sure. They can understand that Jaden, had they not had a couple losses, would be maybe the front runner for the Heisman and not Penix. I mean, in terms of total offense, LSU, like you brought up, is EPA-wise the best in the country. They have more yards than anyone in the country. Georgia's at second. LSU's about to hit 4,000 yards at 3,800 through 7 games. Like, those are wild numbers. But I think people just are forgetting that this team found a run game, and it wasn't just Jaden, that it was Logan Diggs as well. LSU is 6th right now in the country in total rush yards on the season. 6th. That's amazing. I would have never predicted that.
Yeah.
They couldn't find a run game these past couple of years.
Yeah. To kind of go back to the EPA point, they're second in the country in rushing EPA, only behind Oregon. I mean, this is about as balanced of an attack as you can have. And that's what makes it so special, is it's not just, and Washington doesn't have the most balance here. So it's not just that kind of air raid attack where you're killing people with 3 NFL.
Oh yeah, Washington never runs it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not that, and it's not even, I think Oregon to a degree has the run game, but in the pass game, they can be kind of hit or miss, kind of shorter stuff. The balance that this offense has struck is truly unique, but I think it is, I think this is exactly what Mike Denbrock wants, like in an offense. If he could have drawn up an offense, and obviously, best offense in the country, of course, blah blah blah. But you have a mobile quarterback, you have a bell cow running back, you have an elite offensive line, and you have two NFL receivers.
And a
Like
tight end you can trust.
and a tight end and an all SEC tight end. Like this is checks all the boxes for him. Like maybe in a perfect world he has a second tight end that's really really good. And maybe they'll get that one day, but like right now this checks every box Mike Denbrock that like going into the Mike Denbrock offensive coordinator era and even Brian Kelly era, right? We said, all right, mobile quarterbacks, a couple of elite receivers, run game, offensive line. Like that's what we said. And they have checked every single box. And it's, yeah, like you said, they're going to score on anybody. We're not going to learn anything about Army's defense in this game. The only question is for those maybe rushing to bet the over or anything like that is if Army's offense gets a couple of first downs and can kill 5 minutes with a drive, would that be a lower possession game? Maybe take a couple possessions away from LSU, and instead of LSU scoring 60, they only score 45, because they don't have the 2 or 3 possessions that they usually have there. So that is my only question before I rush to look at this being a 55, 60 point game for LSU.
Well, if anyone wants to go check out this amazing LSU offense, you know the deal. Every Friday, Game Time is our app that we use for all ticketing. I've told you guys I've bought concert tickets off Game Time. Saints tickets are on Game Time. Obviously, LSU tickets are on Game Time. Right now, as I do each week, I'll give you my best bets. I was checking the map before the show. You can sit lower bowl, Matty B, on either sideline, really, and pick it. Doesn't matter. It's going to be nighttime too, so the sun's not going to bother you.
Yeah.
$60, $56, $89, and you're 7 rows up here. You can sit in the end zones for $40. Obviously, there's a bunch of upper deck stuff for $25, $23 right now. Flash deals going all over, dropping. I bet these prices come down even more over the next day. So Game Time is your ticketing app. Download the Game Time app if you haven't. Create an account. Use the code TIGERS, TIGERS. That's $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, Game Time app, one word, Game Time. Put it in there. Download it. Promo code TIGERS will get you $20 off your first purchase. Buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the ticket experience and start getting hyped for all the fun you'll have. Certainly, you'll have fun in Tiger Stadium. I just love the seat view. Again, I don't know if it kind of always goes away when I try to show it, but no matter where you click on a seat,
it goes away because it rotates with your foot.
Yeah, it rotates, but that's just how it is. No matter where you click on the seat, you get a view of what it looks like from that seat in the stadium. So that's always a nice bonus for me. Also, no hidden fees. You're not going to get to check out and see that your price is now doubled, like other ticketing apps you might run into. And they'll have the Game Time guarantee. So always the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. Fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Game Time. Again, promo code TIGERS, TIGERS. All right, Matty B, what are we doing? You want to do game balls?
Yeah, let's do game balls. Let's do game balls here. I got
Okay, so last week I picked Jaden. I won't do that again.
I'm picking dang, I just had a second thought. But I'm gonna take Logan Diggs off the board before you can.
Okay.
I think they run the ball a lot, and I think Logan Diggs is very good.
I'm gonna go heads up here. I'm gonna go Josh Williams.
Okay.
I think. Sorry guys.
Alarm 10:00.
Yep, on the clock, on the dot. I'm gonna go Josh Williams. I think that if LSU's able to get a lead, more than Diggs will get to carry the football.
True.
Maybe they won't be chunking it all over the yard. Josh Williams had 2 touchdowns last week. Got in the end zone once on a catch, once on a run. Played a good bit late in the game. I'd expect he'd get in earlier this time. So I'll go with the vet. I think I'll go Williams. We'll go heads up at running back.
Okay. Yeah. We'll place your Josh Williams anytime touchdown score bets in there.
Guys, stay hot on live bets. I'm just saying we won't go too deep in it, but this LSU offense, you can just bet to field goal
Oh, Shea
every
is the
drive, and if
funniest
they
person.
stall, you're hitting. They're giving you plus money on field goals for this drive for this team. That's how good the offense is, for real.
Shea is
Yeah,
the funniest.
give me give me Williams anytime score for this one. I'll take it. Defense, yeah.
Defensively.
Who you rocking?
Oh man, I was on.
We talked about who the game's most important for, and maybe the safeties. I don't know if you were picking MVPs
I'm not
there.
picking the safeties. I would rather not picking the safeties there. Man, this is tough because I want to pick a linebacker, but then again, I think there are some with Wingo out, we're gonna see a lot of Jefferson, and I really like Jefferson. I'm gonna take a linebacker.
Perkins got our game ball last week, or got
Yeah,
the nod. He got Brian Kelly's game ball.
yeah.
Perkins could
Oh
wreck
no,
shop
Paris
again for
Shan,
this.
Paris Shan got our game ball.
Got our game ball.
Yeah.
Perkins got the real one, Brian Kelly's game
Oh
ball.
yeah. I'm just gonna stick to my gut. I'm taking Greg Penn. Greg
Oh
Penn.
man, that's who I was gonna pick. Okay, I'll go with. I won't double up. I think Greg Penn has a big game.
I think Greg Penn has 10 tackles.
Yeah, I think he'll have a big game.
Famous last words. I almost went with Whit Weeks. I almost went with Jordan Jefferson.
Give me Major Burns.
I like it. Okay.
I'm going bounce back game, Major Burns. I don't know, man. I've got faith in him. I know it's waves where he'll have some struggles and he'll play well. I'm going with playing well this week, and I think the Baton Rouge native, Major Burns, has a big game in this one. Like I said, I think this is a get right game for the defense in terms of fundamentally sound. You know what's coming. They're not the athletes that you ran up against with Luther Burden or Trey Harris or any of those guys that you faced at receiver. This should be more obviously a more winnable game for the defensive side. Yeah, I'm going Burns. I think he has a big game.
All right. Predictions.
Oh, wait, special teams.
Oh, special teams. Sorry.
Oh, Caleb Jackson had that 60-yard. Are you going to dip your toe back in that water on kick returns?
I am going to do that. I'm just going to keep taking Caleb Jackson until he breaks one for a touchdown. But yeah, that's but I didn't pick him last week. I had Jay Bramblett, or was that 2 weeks ago? Whenever it was. Regardless, I'm taking Caleb Jackson.
All right, here's my boldest of predictions. Their goal on punt returns is simply just catch it and give it to the offense. I think that Greg Clayton returns one this weekend, and I bet he can pop one. Give me a 20-plus yard Greg Clayton punt return.
Whew.
I think he let one roll by him and then
Yeah.
he took it, but they might have had a holding on that or something that
Yeah.
came back. I can't remember what his long would be on the year technically. Give me a 20-plus yard Greg Clayton punt return.
I like that.
I almost went touchdown. That was too ridiculous of a claim.
Not quite as outlandish as when you specifically said Deshaun Womack on kickoff coverage will force a fumble. that was
very specific. Didn't happen. But no, I'm going. I'll go on the return game too. Give me a Greg Clayton punt return. I don't think if Bramblett punted once last week, I'm not sure how much he's punting in this one, and then they should win comfortably. So whatever Ramos is doing probably isn't all that important to the outcome in the end anyways. It shouldn't be, at least. So
yeah.
Let's have some fun with it. Greg Clayton and Caleb Jackson.
All right. We'll be glued to our seats. Predictions.
Yeah. I don't get this over-under and spread. Like an over-under sitting at 60 and a spread at 31 means they do expect Army to score some points.
Army's team total is at 13.5, and
there you go. They expect them to have maybe 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. I don't see it. Give me
even if it's the fourth quarter and it's backups and all, but then you've got to remember Army's backups are probably all in too. Yeah. So like it'd be their second team offense trying to drive down and score.
Army has UMass next week at home. Need to win that game. So, and then Air Force in 2 weeks. Yeah, they're not gonna keep the starters in too long. Okay, I'm gonna pick LSU to win I don't want to be. I don't want to take your picks here. 45,
You already know
45
my.
to 10. 45 to
What are you
10.
going with?
No, 45 to 7. 45 to 7. There you go. 45 to
Okay,
7.
I went 45. Okay, now you're making me feel a little bit better. So 45 to 7 would hit the over. No,
Oh,
45 to
no.
7 would be the under,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's at 59 with a spread of 32.5. So you got them covering, but not hitting the over. And remember, LSU's hit the over in every single game this season.
LSU.
I might sound ridiculous here. We talked about clipping things and coming back and looking bad and foolish. I'm going LSU 56, Army 10. I think they smash the over and the spread, comfortably hitting both.
Honestly, I wouldn't
I mean,
be.
could you not see LSU? I mean, this offense could just score on every possession of
Yeah.
the first quarter and be winning 35 or 42 nothing at half. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that wouldn't shock
very
me.
much within the realm of possibility.
That wouldn't shock me at all. That it wouldn't shock me at all. Army's defense has been very, very suspect this year. I watched the Syracuse game. Syracuse gave them fits. They only have, what was it, 10 sacks, and I don't remember. They rank in the bottom 30 in the country in both sacks and TFLs. Like, they're not really getting pressure here. They're not winning at the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised at all if LSU scored on 7 or 6 of its first 7 drives in the first half and is up 42 to 3 or 7 in the first. Like, that wouldn't shock me at all. I think my only concern is the pace, and if Army gets a few first downs and bleeds some clock, then it's like, all right, when can LSU get the ball back? Can LSU get the ball back? But I think, like I said, I trust LSU's defense for the most part to take
Hey,
it.
the defense was forcing 3 and outs last week on Auburn to start the game.
Army might be
Rough
better than
game.
Auburn on offense here. I don't know.
Army's not better than Auburn, but Auburn's not good either. So that's a start. But it should be a fun game. I mean, I know they've got the end zones painted camo, probably have a
Yep.
flyover. They'll probably have some in-game stuff. So it should be a good experience.
I have a question. When's the last time LSU went to an alternate jersey that wasn't the purple ones with the white helmets?
Oh, they've done it a number of times. They usually the second non-con game of the year is typically the purple.
Yeah,
Um,
but
have
outside
they
of
announced what they're
those.
wearing? Did they
No,
put
no,
that out or
no.
something?
No, no, I haven't seen anything. I'm just asking. I'm just
Oh,
curious because I feel like this would be one of those games where you could throw out
yeah, I could
crazy
see. Okay,
jerseys.
there's a nice Matty B bold predict. I could see them shaking this up and bringing out like an alternate uni.
I feel like they would have
Um,
announced it by
they
now.
do a good job of keeping that stuff under wraps.
Oh,
Equipment
really?
does. They like the end zones got leaked, but they do a very good job of keeping equipment and jerseys and combos, helmets under wraps. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little something.
I was just curious because I was like, this is one of those games. This and maybe even more so than Georgia State. It's like, yeah, just throw a jersey out there. Just throw something crazy out there and just go sell some merch.
Matty B wants the new color combos. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. Be cool. But if not, it'll be purple. But I'd like to see him shake it up.
Yeah, we'll clip this if they do, and there's my bold
Well,
prediction.
yeah, there you go. There's your bold prediction. A lot of people think that the purples are like some of the best jerseys in college football.
Yeah, we haven't seen them this year.
The purple, yellow, purple, white, I guess it'd be. Or
Yeah, they
yellow,
didn't.
purple, yellow.
Yeah, they didn't wear them against Grambling, did they?
No, yeah, it's usually the second non-con game of the
Oh, the
year.
second knock. Oh, that's what you said. Okay, so yeah, maybe
So
we
if they
see 'em.
don't wear them this weekend, it'll certainly be Georgia State.
I just remember I wasn't here, obviously, but when they wore what was it, 20, it was like in the mid 2010s where they wore the gold helmet, just the
Yep,
bronze
that was a good
helmet.
look.
Yeah, so I was like, I haven't seen that in person. But anyways, that's all we got. Anything else, Jay, before we go?
No, we're good. And guys, spend your money responsibly. I told you, I'm out here telling you they're hitting overs and covering. Don't listen to me. Don't spend any of your hard-earned money on anything that I'm telling you. I'm just saying the LSU offense is special. They're just going to keep scoring. It's
Yes.
fun to watch. Hopefully we get to watch it for at least 3 quarters.
Yes. That's
And
my
then
guess, by the way. For those asking how much we're gonna see the second stringers and stuff, I think they're gonna treat this game just like Grambling. And most of the games under Brian Kelly is play starters through 3 quarters for the most part, and then Nussmeyer and the gang come in for the fourth to hand the ball off to hopefully Caleb Jackson. And that's it. That's how the game will go. All right.
that's it for me.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us. Leave us 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening. Thank you all for subscribing on YouTube. We hit 5,000 subs. Really a lot of growth in the past year since we've gotten here, less than 14 months ago. And we appreciate everybody for liking the
Yes.
videos and subscribing and commenting, and obviously subscribing to the Bengal Tiger On3, which has also grown tremendously since we've gotten there. So thank you all for that. We'll be back after the game to recap everything and obviously, hopefully, recap a Tigers win. So we will talk to y'all then.